So the 365, we get a $65,000 credit, it would be 300,000. The other contractor for the presidential composite would add 23,000. So that'd be 650.
We'll just get you another.
Hmm?
You're not doing wood shake on the building.
We're not doing anything because we're rejecting all the bids.
Because I think if you,
The bids came in at 1.1 million.
You bid both, you bid wood shake and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was with Sunset Center painting, cottage windows, main library painting. 1.1 million. We should go into painting.
Seems like a lot for a roof.
No kidding.
Was that mostly material or labor?
Well, it's probably a lot of labor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy pitch to do.
Hey, Dale.
see, we had, it was like 250,000 unique points come through.
Oh, you checked the plate numbers?
Yeah, well, actually it was,
For all of last week?
yeah, I think, well, yeah, I think it was like 495,000 total, and then unique ones, which is reading at one time. I think we were at 178,000.
Jesus, it's a lot of people. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, this meeting will now come to order. The Traffic Safety Committee meeting of Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. It's now 2 o'clock. We'll start this with a roll call. Nova?
Okay, sure. Police Chief Watkins.
Here.
Community Planning and Building Director Swanson.
Here.
Public Works Director Harari.
Here.
All are
Thanks.
present.
Thanks, Nova. Okay, time for public comments. This is the time provided so that persons may speak to the committee on items not on today's agenda. Please keep your remarks a maximum of 3 minutes. Be mindful that the committee cannot act on items that are not included on today's agenda. Do we have anyone here today who'd like to make comments?
Nice to be with you folks today. I'm Carl Iverson, neighbor and a resident of Monteverde and 2 northwest of 9th. For some time, I've had this idea, I bought my house in 1987. Some years later, I ended up with a sign that I think is appropriate for that street in light of the fact that we have a theater, a Golden Bough Theater. So what I'm doing is offering a sign, if they're accepting and if you think this is the thing to do, to allow people to know that children are coming in that area. Here's what it looks like if you indulge me. Common sign. I got this at Ace Hardware for, I'm not sure how much. Probably need 2 if you decide that it needs any work, or traffic studies, whatever else might be. But that's generally what it is. I talked to Stephen Moore several years ago. Just never got around to being a topic where I could act on it, but I thought, well, I'm going to get up here and talk about it, and maybe you'll put me on an agenda at another time, and we'll go one way or the other, and if I could answer any questions, I'd be happy to, but that's generally the idea.
Thank you very much. Any questions for?
No, I think we just put it on the next agenda.
Yeah, we'll put it on the next agenda for sure.
Okay, terrific.
Okay.
And if I need to do anything, you know how to get me, right?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Hello, Traffic Committee. I'm representing 2 other people here today because they were supposed to show up, but at the last minute they said they couldn't make it, so I'm here. Dale Byrne, and I guess I'm representing Carmel Cares here because it's a safety issue. Janie Marchman, who I know has contacted at least Bob previously, I believe, about the people cutting through on 11th between San Carlos and Junipero, and it's been a problem for her a long time. It's just a constant problem. They're not supposed to do that. So I've got a bunch of points here. I'll just leave this with you and you can pass it out. But Little by little, she's lost most of the road in front of her because of large trucks. It's not designed for that, and the concrete breaks off, or the asphalt breaks off and sloughs off. She also had a comment that the speeding on San Carlos during Car Week was especially bad this year, that cars were racing side by side, daytime and as late as 3 a.m. She just wants to put a heads up for next year for the police to maybe take a look at it. I know that's not an easy thing to do. Another fellow named Rick Villafuerte contacted me regarding issues related to commercial trucks, buses, and large RVs using Junipero as a thoroughfare. This includes Carmel towing trucks, which he says scream by every day and are very loud. Another daily regular is the grocery liquor box truck with the large Dos Amigos tequila ad on it. Same with the sewer district trucks, which we all know are very noisy. He actually talked to them and they said, yeah, we probably are using that when we should go down San Carlos. So they've agreed to not use it unless they're actually doing work in that area. Rick couldn't attend today, but he wanted to see if something could be done to improve the signage at either end of Junipero at 13th and 8th. I went by and I have some pictures I'm going to leave with you. I think there are some things that could easily be done, and I'd be happy to help evaluate that if you want to. Through Public Works, we could talk about it in our bi-weekly meetings. There could probably be some signs put at 11th too, where it's the problem for Janie, and at 7th and at 13th, where that area starts. So I'll leave these with you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dale. Any questions for Dale?
Thank you.
No, makes sense, thanks.
Dale, if you could you forward us the emails of the people that wrote, so we could have their information as part of the public record?
I tried to do that,
Yeah.
And that also gives us the ability to contact them and let them know when the item's going to be on the
Exactly.
agenda. Yep,
Very well.
Yep.
Want to go?
I got you, buddy.
Is there anybody in the Zoom world?
There's nobody on Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Nova. Okay, we'll move on to old business. These are items previously discussed and requiring follow-up. The first and only item is review a previous request from the Friends of Mission Trail Nature Preserve on banning both conventional e-bikes and Mission Trail for pedestrian safety and prevention of soil erosion. Do know that Greg D'Ambrosio recently withdrew his request, apparently going back in time to 2021. There was a discussion at the time and at the Traffic Safety Committee of March 2021 to talk about the same topic, not e-bikes, but bikes in Mission Trail Nature Preserve. At the time, the minutes, the follow-up talks about Chief Tomasi was going to be monitoring the situation. So we've been kind of monitoring the situation for a while. Our last Traffic Safety Committee meeting, we had 3 follow-up items on this, so we could be talking about it today. One was to look at any reference material on what official documents talk about bikes. I have that. One is to talk about the list of no bikes allowed signs or bike restriction signs that Rob will be talking about. And the last is any complaints that we received. So we'll go one by one. The first is official references to bikes. So we found in the Mission Trail Nature Preserve Master Plan, the only reference is Mission Trail Nature Preserve is open to the public for passive recreational use. Okay? It doesn't specifically exclude bikes, but I think by interpretation, one could say that bike riding is not a passive use. Can I say that?
You can say that.
Can you?
I would, if you're asking me my opinion, I would agree with that. I would say
okay.
riding a bicycle is an active recreation activity.
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay. And then more specifically, the baseline biological assessment for Mission Trail Nature Preserve does mention bikes in 2 places. Under land use, it says, bicycles use the improved service roads in the preserve to connect Carmel neighborhoods with shopping districts and transportation routes that bypass the busy coast highway. Bicycles should be discouraged from using hiking trails. So I think that's essentially what's happening is the bikes are using the main trails, but shouldn't be using all the hiking trails. So that's one reference from the biological assessment. The other one is under trail maintenance. Roadways that provide access for service vehicles thank you. I can't read this, it's so small. Sorry. Roadways that provide access to service vehicles are also open to bicycles for off-street routes between neighborhoods of Carmel. That's the service vehicles access, which is the same, we're talking about the same thing. So there is reference in the biological assessment that bikes can use the roads, not the hiking trails. That takes care of the first bit of homework. Second bit of homework, Rob, what did you find about what signs are out there?
At the trailheads of each of the small hiking trails, which is Doolittle, Mesa, and Flanders, there's no bicycle signs at each of those, so I've counted 9 total on those bicycle signs. And on the main roads, Sarah and Willow, there are signs that say bicycles allowed on service roads only. All that is currently in place right now.
Okay.
I can pass these down.
And the service road would be from Rio to the flat, just the
Mountain
flat
View.
to Mountain View.
Yeah.
Rob, can you think of any places where we're missing signs?
No, I even drove through it this morning, even up at the Flanders Mansion on the higher trails, there's even no bicycle signs there.
Okay, so you think we're covered on
Yeah,
where bikes can and cannot be
right.
in terms of signs? Okay, and the third assignment we had was looking up complaints. Other than Friends of Mission Trail, past and present, I could find no other specific complaints about bike riders. I do know that city staff, public works staff has been concerned about erosion from bikes, going off the hiking trails and going down the hills and ripping up the landscaping and whatnot. But I didn't see any other complaints from the outside world. Were you able to find anything?
Nope, I had none.
Chief? Rob?
None.
Okay, so if there are complaints, there are very few,
Yeah.
other than apparently from the Friends, who have now withdrawn the request. So with that, open to discussion on what our next steps could be, if any, on this item.
If you're looking at me, I don't know if we have much else to do. I mean, it sounds like to me that the rules are clearly posted. It's more of an enforcement issue, and but there's other more pressing enforcement issues out there. So I mean, I would just say between the city's code compliance division and the police officers, we enforce as time allows and respond to calls that we get about it specifically. But I don't know if there's much else for us to do at this point.
I would agree with you on that. As calls come in, should they come in, we can respond accordingly, and there is so many avenues to, if there is a bicyclist on those trails, that they can spread. There's not one area where we can just go sit and wait for them to come out, so it makes it a little difficult. But yes, I think we should just monitor it as it comes in.
Okay? We don't need a roll call on this, right? We're in agreement?
It just says review.
Yeah, we reviewed.
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to keep Nova
Nope, you're
engaged.
good. You're good.
Okay, we'll move on to new discussion items. The first one is consider request for cross-traffic does not stop signs at Monteverdi Street and 7th Avenue. Who would like to talk about what this is all about?
Yeah, we went and took a look at what this was pertaining to, and the entire city is laid out in such a way that every several blocks is a stop sign east-west and north-south. So giving precedence to one area, I would think we would need to do it to all areas. And looking back into this, in the last 5 years, we've had no accidents in this intersection. They've all been north or south of the intersection. So I'm not sure that this is something that we would need to take action on and put it on every other intersection.
Chief, do we have any cross-traffic does not stop signs anywhere in town?
Not that I believe.
Rob, do we know of any?
Yes, there's one at Santa
one?
Fe and Third. On
Santa
the truck
Fe.
route, that sharp turn by
Oh.
Mr. Dallas's
Yeah.
house.
Right, okay, but that's
It's a blind,
that's a blind
turn.
Yeah.
curve and
Mhm.
the truck route,
yeah.
unlike this other location.
Yeah, these are all four ways
Yeah, four-way stop. And perpendicular.
or two ways.
There's a
yeah.
two-way, yeah.
Two ways with.
But it's a perpendicular four-way intersection with the roads. I mean, there's a clear line of sight up and down the hill.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, my observation was the same. I mean, actually, I walk across that because I park down that way. And I walk across that road every day. And, you know, some people do come down that hill a little bit faster because it's one of the steeper hills coming out of the downtown area. But I think it's not a unique situation in the village to have a stop sign, and you just have to look uphill and downhill.
okay. They're not asking for a stop sign, cross traffic
Right.
does not.
There's
stop
already a
sign.
stop, that's my point, is already a stop sign there. So you should be stopped and looking
Oh.
up the hill and down the hill.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So do we have a motion to reject this request?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to reject it.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Chief Watkins,
Here.
Director
No, not
Swanson,
here,
Aye.
to say yay, yes.
Director Swanson,
Yes.
Director
and here.
Harari.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving right along, item B. Consider removing a green painted loading zone on Lincoln Street 2 northeast of 8th Avenue. Rob, do you want to quickly introduce
this
that
on?
and tell us?
Can Sebastian, can you share this? Oh, yeah.
One way or the other. It's like, there you go. You got
There
it.
you go. There's the green curb.
Do you want me, I can actually, because this is one I brought,
Oh,
if you want me to.
go
yeah.
right ahead.
So this was brought to us by a resident. We've got a green curb that has been there forever. This used to be a more highly trafficked commercial use. This building you see with the green shutters on it, it's no longer. It's mostly residential, and it's not a busy office building. So the green curb was there, this effectively as a loading zone. It's just not needed anymore. I think that's why I put this on here. I think it's a good thing to look at. We just turn it back into a regular parking space. There's no need to have a timed space here. There's no other time spaces around it.
Okay. I'll look for a nod from Dale. Is this the same location that we talked about a couple months ago? Okay, all right.
And you'll
Small-
probably want
small world.
you want to open the public comment for this one eventually.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like the last one.
Yeah, the member of the public, who my attention is in the audience today,
Yes, just like the last
just like the last one.
Just like the last topic. Chief, any?
No, I'm in
Comments on this?
100% agreement with Mr. Swanson. This used to be a doctor's office way back in the day, and it's no longer acting as that. So I would be in agreement to make this just a regular parking spot.
And Rob, to make it a regular, you would paint the green curb gray?
Correct.
Okay. With that, we'll open up to any public comments. Yes, sir.
Carl Iverson again. I might make a comment. I go by there quite often. I don't know for sure whether the Carmel Foundation delivery trucks might use that because it's adjacent to that building, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be, it's south of that.
Yeah, the foundation I
Right,
think is farther south.
Yeah, it's right in the same, it's the opposite corner. But I just threw that out because I'm not, it wouldn't hurt to look at it, and maybe if they don't, it's a little bit of a distance, but the kitchen is across the street from that location. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's a parking lot into that though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they have a loading zone here.
And they have a loading too?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Looking for a motion?
Close public comment.
I'm rusty. I haven't done this. We're going to close the public
There
comment.
you go.
There was no one on Zoom, correct?
This is a well-oiled machine today.
Multitasking.
It's very, very
Yeah.
oiled.
There's no one on Zoom.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll look for a motion now
Bring it
that
back
we've
to the
closed the
committee.
public
I'll
comment.
make a motion to remove the green loading zone and paint it gray or whatever the excellent public works staff does to it to make it go away.
I second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Chief Watkins,
Yes.
Director Swanson,
Aye.
Director Harari,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. Next, item C, consider request to modify a compact parking stall in the Park Branch Library Annex parking lot adjacent to Junipero Street to motorcycles or bicycle-only parking. I guess the chief, this is really a PD request, so maybe you want to launch this one?
Yeah, we took a look at this, and the parking stall is marked compact, I believe, right, Rob?
Correct.
It was marked compact, and to be able to park a normal vehicle in the area, it does stick out into the driveway itself, which creates a problem to get out of the parking lot. So making this into a motorcycle or bicycle only parking makes sense.
Okay. My understanding is that we have bicycle parking somewhere else, close to the building. You have a picture of it?
Yes. You can't really see it. It's behind this car.
Okay, I talked to Ashley Wright, the library director, this morning, and she says it would be a wonderful idea to convert that to motorcycle.
It's right here.
There's a bike parking.
There it is.
So, library be supportive of motorcycle parking, and that would reduce the conflict.
I believe it would.
Any thoughts,
Nope.
questions? Okay, we'll open it up to public comments, like we always do,
Every time.
each and every time. Anybody?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay, all right, we'll close the public comments. Looking for a motion.
Make a motion to cancel that stall for vehicles and make it a motorcycle parking only.
I'll second. Roll call,
Okay,
please.
Call. Chief Watkins,
Yes.
Director Swanson,
Aye.
Director Harari,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, home stretch. Item D, consider request for stop signs at the intersections of First Avenue and Pescadero, and also at Second Avenue and Lincoln Street. So maybe we should do this one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look about, if you can pull it up, First Avenue and Pescadero. Okay,
So now we're at the intersection of First and Lincoln. If you went north, you'd be on Pescadero, and you can see the two little white dots there
mhm.
delineating the city from the county. I think we're talking about putting a stop sign here westbound because of where this tree is here on the left-hand side. This is almost a blind intersection, and vehicles coming up the hill.
It's significantly larger
It's-
now. That's 12 years ago.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
So, we just talking about the one, right? Just the eastbound.
Yeah, I think the request was for a potential three-way slap-controlled intersection.
Yeah,
Um,
three-way would be difficult
It seems like that might be overkill.
because we would be stopping traffic that's in the county. So
Right, and
putting
it's in the
a stop
county,
sign would
right.
be, we would have to contact the county for that.
Right.
I would be in favor of making just an eastbound here.
And in your opinion, if we trimmed the trees quite a bit and kept them trimmed,
Well, you're not
it's
gonna
still not
trim,
gonna,
it's,
not gonna cut it?
no, you'd have to remove the tree.
Do you have a
It's
later
quite
date, Rob?
larger.
If you click on see more dates, do you have a later date?
This is Google Maps. I don't know. Does that have that on here?
See on the right-hand
Oh, yeah.
corner, there you go.
I just had that area trimmed
No, that's the-
yesterday, by
that's the
way,
newest
so
one.
it's
Okay.
more- It's clear now.
Nope, you're good. They don't have anything newer there. Well, I don't have any questions. You want to open it for public comment, and then we can deliberate?
Yeah, we, right, yeah, very good. Okay, we'll open this up to public comments. Gentlemen?
You're gonna get your money's worth out of the visit today, aren't you?
Yeah,
I like it.
My meter still has some time on it. Since that's near the Stevenson School, I like the idea of stop signs around kids. I'm a retired school teacher of a number of years, but that's all I noticed, that part, and that's according to, I think you're going in the right direction on that. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
I believe we can only make the recommendation. This is something that
that's
would
right.
have to go to
Yes, this
city
has to go to
council.
city council. But we could make a motion to,
Let's see if there's any more public comment first.
there wasn't any.
I know, did you
There's
close public
none on
comment?
Zoom.
Oh, I was going to.
Just helping you stay on track here, buddy.
All right, we'll close the public comment.
You know I love procedures.
Yes, you do.
Favorite. All right.
So we're closed to public comments, and are we ready to make a motion to take this to the city council with the committee's recommendation supporting one stop sign westbound Pescadero?
Yeah, well, I kind of was saving my comments, so I didn't have any questions for the first part. We went out and did the site visit. This picture doesn't show it as well, but you actually are going uphill at a pretty good slope at this point, and the corner coming down from I guess the westbound lane is banked pretty hard. So we actually saw some folks, they rip around that corner pretty good. And so when you're going northbound, if you're just going to continue north on this road, there is a risk there. I don't know, did we get a chance to pull any traffic collision data on this one? Okay.
No, I didn't get any.
I mean, maybe we'll do that going into the city council, but all that being said, I think one stop sign is sufficient. I do think it's a good idea because this is also a blind corner now, like fully blind. This tree is much bigger than that. But like the chief said earlier, we'll make a recommendation to city council for a stop sign here. I would support that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's a motion.
I'll make a motion to I move that we recommend to the city council that we install a stop sign here at the intersection of Lincoln and First at the westbound lane.
Okay, I would second that.
Chief Watkins?
Aye.
Director Swanson?
Aye.
Director Harari?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, so we'll do part 2, which is consider request for stop signs at 2nd Avenue and Lincoln Street. Rob, could you pull that up, please?
Chief, anything you want to describe about this one before we?
Yeah, I think
Do
you have the
public
similar situation here. However, you have the center median with one-way traffic each way going north-south, and then you have these intersections coming from this cul-de-sac uphill and Second Avenue coming downhill. So it's just there's a whole lot of avenues going on here. I think it would be advantageous to put in a stop sign looking east-westbound. So one for westbound traffic, and then one coming out of this cul-de-sac here for eastbound.
So, okay, so 2nd Avenue would have the stop signs westbound and eastbound.
Correct.
Lincoln Street would be,
Lincoln Street would still be moving.
okay. Any other thoughts on that before we open up to public comments like we always do?
Like we always do. Go ahead.
All right, let's open up to public comments like we always do. Anyone?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay. Close the public comments like we always do.
The same story here. This picture doesn't fully represent the banking around that corner, especially the folks coming westbound. We saw, again, when we were out there on the site tour, we did see this as well. I support the recommendation for 2 stop signs at this location, both east and westbound. What we've done here basically is, we've created Lincoln now as the straight shot. because this takes you up to the school. This is a main way up there. So I think that this ends up being an altogether better situation. So I would be supportive of the recommendation.
I would second that. Roll call.
Chief Watkins,
Aye.
Director Swanson,
Aye.
Director Harari.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and before we adjourn, we'll confirm our next meeting is Wednesday, November 29th, which is right after Thanksgiving. Time to be determined. It's usually in the morning, but sometimes it's in the afternoon.
We've already got one agenda item.
You got one, we got one,
That's, yeah,
yeah,
we're ahead of the game.
okay.
That's
With
it.
that, we can
Yeah.
adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Half hour.
Fastest.
All right.